tener sex. En el cuarto cae un diluvio. Otra vez te vienes, cada vez más yo te estudio. Y hasta que salga el sol me quedo para darte lo tuyo. Los dos bien bellacos, calentamos más que un Julio. Castígala, dale lo que pide. Estamos en la zona que nada se prohíbe. Dale duro pa' que nunca se olvide. Castígala, castígala. Ay, la nota explota. Yo no sé qué pasaba, tuve que agarrarme de ti fuerte. Baila hasta donde llegaba, sorry. Fue la nota, por la noche, pero yo no me quitaba, sorry. Si yo nunca me envuelvo, pero tú estás complicada. Todo está bien, no te tienes que pensar. Y yo sola no te dejaré. Tú es la primera vez que la vi. Me enamoré cuando con ella bailé. Desde hace rato se quería pegar. Puse de espalda contra la pared. Y si yo bajo, sabes que le haré. Tú quieres mami. Se le viran los ojos. La miro y se relambe. El pinta labios rojo. Esa cintura suelta. Baby, si yo te cojo, te subo a la altura. Tú dime y te recojo. Ella a manejar me dejó. Siempre se va a sentir cuando un lugar llegue yo. Yo estaba coronando desde que era menor. Por foto se ve bien, pero de frente mejor. Se dio un par de copas de más. El vino tinto me pidió pausa cuando iba por el quinto. Le di una vuelta por el barrio con la quinco. Ellos cuando me ven de frente quedan trinco. Sola la hace, sola la paga. Donde otra la que se apaga. Estoy llamando mi atención porque quiere que le haga. Tú quieres mami. Se le viran los ojos. La miro y se relambe. El pinta labios rojo. Esa cintura suelta. Baby, si yo te cojo, te subo a la altura. Tú dime y te recojo. Esa falda chiquitita, ay qué bonita te queda. Yo la veía todos los días, ahora es cuando se pueda. Y de la uni yo la saco hasta donde se pueda. Y las demás que sigan envidiando, por eso no prospera. Ese culo pone a las demás inseguras. Ella a mí me desconfigura. Mezcla lo sensual, la calle y la finura. Cuando quiere no disimula. Hoy va pa' la calle, se bebe y se fuma. Quiere un tipo que la presuma. Su burri heavy, güey, el jacuzzi con espuma. Chingando, escuchando a Peso Pluma. Esa falda chiquitita, ay qué bonita te queda. Yo la veía todos los días, ahora es cuando se pueda. Y de la uni yo la saco hasta donde se pueda. Y las demás que sigan envidiando, por eso no prospera.
Diablo mami, naciste pa' mí, bebé te noté que no eres de aquí. Diablo mami, naciste pa' mí, si esto fuera un draft, tú fueras first pick. Yo no sé si encontrarte, fue cuestión de suerte. Adivina tu acento, y no mi punto fuerte. Pero sé de dónde sea, mami, quiero tenerte en la cama del hotel gritando real hasta las reales ganas cuando baila. Sé que de todo me distraía, baby, solo avisa cuando salga, mami, para hacer de cosas que yo sé que te gustan mientras esperamos que el sol caiga.
All right. All right, what's happening, everybody? We're live. Let me know if you guys can hear me good. About to get started here in a couple minutes. Don't mind my voice. I lost my voice this week. Might sound a little weird, but I don't know. What's good? Let me know if you guys can hear me. How's everybody doing? Yo. What's good? Check out the new YouTube video if you haven't seen it yet. Uploaded a new video today. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Posted it today, well, yesterday technically. Every Sunday and every Wednesday. So if you don't know, every single Sunday, every single Wednesday, I upload a video. Every Sunday, every Wednesday. People always ask me to upload videos, and I'm like, every Sunday, every Wednesday I do. Every week. Been like that for a year now. Go check out the new video. There's videos every week. Sunday and Wednesday, yo. Posted it yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. A little bit about my journey, I guess you could say, some of my story. I started 11 years ago. A lot of you guys don't even know that. Some of you guys might be new here. I started in this, I guess you could say, trading journey 11 years ago. And it's been a process. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. It's so much a process. But in the first 3 years, it was definitely a process. It wasn't exciting. I didn't have an audience watching me, applauding me, cheering for me. Everyone was telling me, you're going to fail. That's too risky. Only successful people can do that. You know, that's not going to work out. And yeah, it's too risky overall. And a lot of people would say to me when I first started trading, you know, only successful people can do that, you know. Only successful people do that, you know. Only successful people build businesses, or only successful people invest, trade, or do the stock market, you know what I mean? Like, that was the world around me. The world around me was only successful people are meant to do that. And it's like, what is a successful person? Not everybody started out as a successful person, right? So I would get criticized a lot in the beginning from my peers, my best friends, my family, my coworkers, even my boss. I remember my bosses, both of my, like, I had two bosses. I had two jobs in my life, and both of them thought I was crazy. I knew the way they would look at me. They thought I was odd. I remember they thought I was odd. They were like, this guy's weird. What the heck is he talking about all the time? I would go into work and talk about, I would literally go into work and try to motivate others, like inspire them, share knowledge and information with them. They thought I was crazy. I remember when I started trading, everyone thought I was crazy. So yeah, when you start in this journey, you might be alone. You might feel alone. People might think you're crazy in the beginning. Because I remember people telling me, oh, only successful people can do that. You know, only successful people do that. It's like, you know, what is a successful person in the beginning? Probably, you know, just like I was. Quiet nights alone. It's really about the work you do alone when nobody is watching, really. The hundreds and hundreds of hours when nobody is watching. That's what it's all about, really. The boring work, really. The boring work, that's really where it's all built. When it's you by yourself in your bedroom. For me, it was my mom's basement. So for me, it was literally my mom's basement where I was in the trenches every day. So this is day one. We're going to be doing these calls every day. I'm going to be here on YouTube and in the inner circle. Like, I'm going to mix it up. Sometimes I'm going to be here. A lot of times I'm going to be in the inner circle. So some of these sessions will be private. This is a public call right now. And we're going to be looking at the markets every day until September. It's July 6th right now, Monday, July 6th at the moment, beginning of the week. And we're going to be looking at the markets every day, London session and New York session. I'm sure some of you guys would have seen these flyers, these posts I've been doing. So I'm going to be here every day until September. This is what my summer is going to be. My summer is going to be locked in, London session, New York session, every single day until September, all right? Until September. So we have basically the next 60 days, the next 2 months to lock in, to really learn, right? I guarantee if you show up on these sessions consistently, guys, you're going to learn more in the next 60 days than you will in 6 years, all right? So stay locked in, stay focused. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to talk about where gold's at right now. Maybe look at the market. It's Monday, okay? So one thing I want you guys to understand about most traders, and I'm going to give you guys some psychology right now, because most traders rush into the week. And oftentimes, yeah, you can find some early trades in the beginning of the week. Like, I can already see there was a pretty decent sell on gold already. Yeah, like if you're on the charts looking at the 4 hour, there was already like a decent sell on gold. Trading's not about catching every move. It's not about being right all the time. It's about risk, reward, patience, and letting setups come to you. For example, last week, these were the 3 trades I took last week. Now, it doesn't look like the craziest week. It's not the biggest number I've made. It's not my biggest week in terms of profit. But the interesting part is that these 3 trades, right? So the interesting part is that there were only 3 trades. And it's about when they happened. One of them happened at the beginning of the week, and I lost it. The next one happened in the middle of the week, and then I lost it. And then the biggest one, the winning trade, came towards the end of the week. And obviously you see that trade made more money than the 2 losses. So I have those 2 losses I took, right? That's like $5,200, a little bit over $5,200 lost there between 2 trades. But if you notice that 3rd trade, right? That one was towards the end of the week. It wasn't all in the same day. I didn't lose one of the trades and try to make it back the same day. I didn't try to make it back instantly, right? I waited. I waited the next day, and I took a loss the next day, or I took a loss within 24 hours later, maybe 48 hours later. Because I remember one was at the beginning of the week. Yeah, so one was on the 29th. One was on the 30th. And then one was on July 2nd. So one after another. I lost a trade. And the thing about most traders is when they lose, it's how they react to it. It's how they perceive a loss. Most traders, they view a loss as failure, or, as you getting like punched in the face. Like when you take a loss, you feel like it's a failure, or you might get punched in the face, right? You have to change the way you view losses, right? Losses are data, losses are information, and they're just a part of the process. Risk to reward is key. Most traders never catch the 3rd trade is the point that I'm getting to. The point that I'm going to get to here is that most traders don't catch the 3rd trade, because by the time the 3rd trade even arrives, they've taken too many trades trying to make those losses back. They take a losing trade, and right away they try to make the loss back, right? Because by Thursday or Friday, because this trade would have came Thursday, Friday towards the end of the week, most traders don't get to that 3rd trade. Because by Thursday or Friday, they're already mentally or financially exhausted. They overtraded Monday, they overtraded Tuesday, trying to make a week's worth or a month's worth of money in one day, or trying to make the losses back if they lost. So it could be different scenarios why most traders never get to that 3rd trade. Most traders never get to that position, right? Towards the end of the week is when this one came for me. Like I said, because by the time it even comes, they're usually mentally or financially exhausted. They, it could be over trading on Monday, over trading on Tuesday. Like I said, trying to make a week's worth of money in one day, or a month's worth of money in one day. Or like if those traders lost, they spend the rest of the day or days trying to revenge trade, trying to make the money back. So, or even if they win, if you win, you might feel unstoppable and you just keep trading. Either way, when a good setup really shows up later in the week, that could come on a Thursday, it could come on a Friday, it could come on a Wednesday. They either don't have the confidence, or maybe don't have the margin, or don't have the discipline to take it. So trading isn't about finding 20 opportunities in one day or 1 week. It's about recognizing 2, 3 that actually matter. So that's what I'm going to be breaking down a bit today on how waiting. So how waiting, you're not trading, you're waiting. These days, most people can't wait. Again, guys, I've been trading 11 years. I will tell you, I've coached thousands and thousands and thousands of traders over the years. I used to work for a company that had 400,000 members. I was the highest paid educator inside of the company, #1 viewed educator in the entire company. I was the highest paid, #1 viewed company educator. I was paid to teach, right? They paid me to teach. I wasn't someone who signed up for the company. I was a contractor for this company. Now, either way, what I'm going to be talking about today is how waiting for quality setups instead of forcing trades can completely change your results, right? Less trades, better decisions. You can have much bigger weeks. You don't need to trade every day. I'm someone who can trade every day, but I'm not currently in that phase of wanting to trade every single day, all right? Most traders, again, don't get to trade number 3. They lose a trade, they get emotional, they try to make the money back right away. I've seen traders go from $1,000 to $50,000 and blow it all in one day. I've seen it. I've done that too myself. I've literally seen people go from 1,000 to 50,000 in months and then lose it all in one day or 2 days. I've seen this. Why might something like that happen? It's because you're trying to make the money back and you're emotionally attached to the money, right? You have to follow the process and wait for good setups. I'll show you the month, for example. That's last week. If we look at the month, again, another example of why waiting will pay you more than trying to just force trades. Like, you could lose a trade, right? And it might hurt, it might sting, it might not feel good, right? Losing doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to talk about losses, right? Who wants to get on here? Like, who wants to come up and talk about losing, right? These days, everything's a highlight reel. Everything you see on social media, everything you see on Instagram is just a highlight reel version of maybe what success actually takes, because success and failure, they're not two different roads. Success and failure, they're pretty much a part of each other, intertwined, right? So losing, you can't look at losing and trading as I'm a failure. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Why did I lose? You can't react to it. If you react to it when you lose, you need to get off your charts, walk away, go do something else with your life. If you're still at that stage where you're fearful, because fear's there, right? Fear's in everything, right? You'll lose. Like, I was talking about this earlier. I made a TikTok about this earlier, and I think I posted on Instagram. I don't know if I posted on Instagram, but euphoria, for example, has lost me way more money than fear ever has. I've lost way more money from being overconfident, from over trading because I thought I was a genius and I was winning every trade. And then boom, you lose a month's of work in one day. You lose a week's work on a random Friday, right? I've lost way more money from being overconfident than being fearful. Fear's there, yeah, but I've lost money from when I've been on win streaks. The most money I've lost is when I'm winning all the time. And then you lose that one trade and you want to make it back. And then that one trade spirals into more losing trades. And you're like, I got to make the money back. I got to get to where I was. That's an emotional trader. If you're in the phase of still being an emotional trader, when you lose a trade, look at how you react. It's not about, I need to make this back right now. Close your laptop, go on a walk, go eat some food, go do your regular life, because you lost, and that's what's there. That's the information that's there. You lost that trade. You lost it for a reason. Come back and figure that out later, and then wait for the next setup. Most traders fail at, risk to reward, or let's say their losses are usually bigger than their wins. And that's kind of like the opposite of what you want to be in your trading. You don't want your losing trades to be bigger than your winning trades at the end of the day. You can make real good money in these markets if you actually stay patient, if you have the ability to just stay patient. So last week doesn't look like the sexiest week, but when we talk about risk to reward, this is kind of the way you want to be going about things. You want to be able to risk $100 to make $500. Or you want to risk $100 to make $300, or $100 to make $400, or you want to risk $500 to make $2,000, or $500 to make $2,500. Let me know in the chat if you guys can relate to anything I am saying. If any of you guys can relate to anything I am saying. We're all traders here. Some of you guys should be able to relate to anything I'm saying. So one trade can make, like, this is proof. I can show you my history here, right? Of how, yeah, you'll lose trades. Like, for example, this trading history, as you can see, I have won as many trades as I've lost, right? I didn't take 12 trades and win 8. I didn't take, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look at that, 12 trades. Yeah. I didn't win 12 trades. I didn't take 12 trades and win 10 of them. If you look here, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 here. There's 12 trades. Half of them won, half of them lost. Right? So you don't need to win all your trades to be profitable. If you're winning a lot of trades, the one thing you have to watch out for is a tilting point, right? Because a lot of people, when they win, like I was just describing, I've lost a lot of money from euphoria. Euphoria is a real thing, especially in crypto. When things are just going up every week, crypto's going up when it's pumping, not right now, but when crypto's going up, it's pumping, going up every week, every month. You feel like a genius. You're on top of the world. You just buy, and then market starts going down. You get to that euphoric stage. In day trading, you can get to that too, where you can be on you can win 3 weeks in a row. Every trade's hitting. You feel like, oh, wow, this is easy. All I got to do is click buy here, buy, or sell. And then one day that could all change. It could all change in one day if you can't really control your emotions. Okay? So this is what trading can look like in the terms of, when we talk about risk to reward, or, I would just generally say risk to reward and win rate. Winning 90% of your trades isn't everything at the end of the day. You could be a 50% trader, or even a 40%, honestly, even 40%. You could win 40 to 50, let's say 40 to 60% of your trades. That doesn't sound like the sexiest win rate. If you're taking 10 trades, and you win 6, okay, that's better than 50-50, but like winning 40 to 60% of the trades, that doesn't sound too, like, appealing. It doesn't sound too sexy. It doesn't sound like, wow, yeah, let me win 50% of the time. Risk to reward is a key factor in that, right? And waiting for good setups on the 4-hour time frame, not just chasing everything and anything at the end of the day. Absolutely. I'm checking the chat 1000%. If you guys have any questions on this stream, let me know. I'm going to break down some of these trades for you guys, like the 27. I'm going to break down that $27,000 trade in a little bit, the $9,000 one that was from last week, the $13,000 one. I'm going to talk about some of the losing ones from last week, because it's not all about the wins. You guys are going to be able to learn more from someone like me from the losing trades, okay? I could show you wins. I could show you crypto portfolio gains, trades that I've taken in the past that have made me a lot of money. But these days where you guys are trying to get, you guys are going to learn a lot more from the losses, right? So let's get into it. We're going to look at gold. Again, remind you, we're going to be live here every day, okay? On these streams. I'm not going to be live public every day. Like, our next stream today is New York session. I'm going to be live in the inner circle only for that session. We're live London session right now public. If you're in the inner circle, we're going to be live New York session as well. So we're going to be looking for setups every day. And one thing you guys need is patience as well. I'm not going to be rushing into setups right when I get on here. There's going to be days, I can guarantee you, there's going to be days where I jump on and there's going to be a trade. And then there's going to be days where we have to stay patient. We have to let the market come to us. That's what trading is. These days, everyone is so hyper fixed because of the thumbnails, because of the Instagram reels, because of the TikToks, because of the online gambling. What is the biggest thing right now? What do you notice with FIFA? For example, the FIFA World Cup. What do they promote every commercial? What are they promoting every day? Gambling. Why? Because people don't have time these days to be patient. Because people literally are not patient. They're not disciplined. they want the easier way out. People don't want to build a skill set. These days, people would rather gamble on any event, any game, anything, because that's easier than dedicating 2 hours a day to a skill set. What do you like? If you actually look at the world around us right now, every airport I travel in now, there's gambling ads everywhere. Get a bonus, sign up here, match your bonus, this. So, these days, the world is really fixated on a microwave mentality. And we've been talking about the microwave mentality for years. These days, it's like, I think like a hyper microwave now. Like, I think the microwave is like really on these days. Even in the FIFA World Cup, literally every ad, every commercial is literally just like promoting gambling everywhere you see it. These days, kids want to be professional gamblers, and it's like, dude, if you want to be a professional gambler, just trade then, like realistically, like gamble the markets, you'll have a better rate. You could honestly like probably find a better risk to reward. But that's not what I'm saying. But everything these days, yeah, Kraken is sponsored by, I think Kraken's sponsored. All right. We might see a pull up on gold. It's looking like gold is a bit more bearish to start the week out. Yeah, gold right now, if we look at the daily candle, I'm actually thinking gold's going to come down to start the week. If we look at the daily right now, it is flipping bearish at the moment. I think gold's going to try to come down for the start of the week. It's too high for me to be buying. I would like to see if we come down on gold. I think we could try to come down to 4,100. If we do look at gold right now, really simple on the daily time frame here, we do have this previous area of resistance that I'm going to zone out right here where I just put the horizontal line. So right there, I just marked an area on gold that we can see. That's probably where I could see gold coming down to actually. If we're looking at the daily right now, the daily is bearish at the moment with gold. And then when we break it down to the 4 hour, so we're looking at daily right now. A nice like daily area there. You can see actually line chart. You can see if I go here, we got this low that we made, big bounce. And then last week, it looks like we tapped into that, made a nice move down, you can see, but we broke above that. So that's probably an area this week we could potentially return to. I'd want to wait. Again, keyword, wait. What I've noticed again these days, because I've been an educator for a while and like a trader for a while now, 11 years. These days, people lack patience. Even just in regular life, outside of trading. It's not just because of trading. It's even because of outside of trading. Like you have your trading world, and then you have your outside world. I mean, if in your outside world, you have bad habits, you have bad discipline, you're not a patient person, you have a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of stress, if you're emotional, if you're stressed out all the time, let's just say like outside of trading, you're stressed out all the time. You have so much anxiety, you're just stressed, you're just a stressful person, or a person that's living just in this like maybe negativity or feeling down all the time, or feeling like you lack something all the time. You might bring that energy to trading more, right? If you're always stressed in your regular everyday life, you may bring that energy to trading too, and that might not be good. Trading, you just want to be calm, okay? So yeah, when we look at gold, I'm personally thinking we could come down. When we look at it right now, we did have a nice bullish shift last week. Like towards the end of last week, gold shifted up pretty bullish. But look at where we're at right now. Daily's flipping bearish. I think we're going to try to come down to like this area on gold first. And then if we get down there this week, like let's say we come down to that level this week, I'll be watching on gold, keeping an eye on it. Yeah, like Cheesecake said, I see Kraken in the game. Yeah, Kraken. Yeah, if you look at the FIFA games, actually Kraken's sponsored maybe or something. Um, Kraken's also about to go public, if I'm not mistaken. Kraken, I think they have an IPO. Oh wait, Kraken filed the US IPO valued listing plans. I don't know if Kraken's a public company yet. But Kraken's actually doing something interesting on their platform. Kraken, you have like stocks you can buy on Kraken. You can actually buy stocks, like tokenized stocks on Kraken. So yeah, Kraken's Payword. It's called Payword. Kraken's actually an interesting platform. I'm pretty sure I don't know if they've gone public yet or if they are, but yeah, it's called X stocks. X stocks. That's something interesting. If you're in America, I don't think I can do it in Canada yet. I don't know. Gotta look into that. X stocks. That's something cool actually with Kraken that they offer. X stocks. It's pretty cool when you look at where things are going. Like tokenized stocks. You know, like soon everything's gonna be tokenized, right? Like real estate, stocks. Like eventually, it's already happening. Like the development of it is already happening actually, like the process, the development, the maturity of it, like it getting mature, it's happening over time. Everything's going to be tokenized. Even real estate eventually is going to be tokenized. They're already tokenizing stocks, right? So Kraken, I know they have that X stocks, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I buy crypto on I've bought crypto on Kraken too. But yeah, gold, like, I don't like to jump into the weeks. Like, one thing I don't like to do as a trader is jump into the weeks and feel like I need to find a trade. Like, I don't jump into the weeks like I need a trade right now. I don't always need to be right. I don't always need to be correct. That's not what makes a trader. If you're on the charts every single day and you're like, I need to be right all the time, you're doing more effort than you need to, really. Really, you're doing more than you need to sometimes if you're always needing to be right or always needing to be in a trade or always having that fear of missing out on something, right? You're putting way more effort than you actually need to, and way more effort sometimes ruins your psychology, right? So I don't always jump onto the charts on Sunday, Monday, like we need to find a trade right now. It's more about just gaining that tempo, gaining that flow, looking at what price has done so far, how it's reacted, and then moving forward. Because good setups just come to you, right? And yeah, when we look at gold on the 4-hour here, we do have an engulfing candle here on forex.com. So honestly, I'm not thinking buys yet, for anybody wondering. Probably looking at something like this for maybe a small short-term trade. This could be potentially something to look at on gold as like a break and retest, as you can see here. It looks like gold reversed pretty quickly going into this week. I mean, if you were on the charts early tonight, you might have been able to catch some sells, really. I wasn't on the charts. I'm going to just, like, my time on the charts the next 60 days, London session, New York session. I'm not always going to be looking at the charts 24/7. Tokyo session as well, because gold can move in Tokyo session. But these London session streams, I'm going to be jumping on a bit before London session as well. Sometimes even like pre-London, late Tokyo session. So Mondays can sometimes have low volume. I don't always jump into the markets. People always want to know what's gold doing when the market opens. Remember what I just said about the third trade. That third trade came on a Thursday. Same with this $27,000 one. That was also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the $27,000 trade was on a Thursday as well. It was June 18th. That $27,000 trade was literally Thursday going into Friday. My biggest trades lately, like my biggest trades lately, have been coming middle week towards the end of the week, not the beginning of the week. So that's why for me, I'm toning things out in the sense of, okay, I don't need to rush into the markets beginning of the week. If I see a good setup, I'll take it in the beginning of the week. But my best trades, my biggest trades in the last month have literally come on Thursday, Friday, even on my MetaTrader as well. I trade a bit on MetaTrader as well. This is my funded account with YouFunded. Soon we're gonna be up six. All I gotta do is grow this account like 30K more, and it's up about 6 figures for the year. All I gotta do is make 30K more, because I've done one payout so far, $18,000. So realistically, I just gotta make $30,000 more dollars, and I'm up 6 figures on the year with this account, which is pretty good. I'll take 6 figures a year trading. Am I going to be live London session public all week? Maybe. We will see. I'm going to switch it up. If you're in the inner circle, we're going to be live. You might see me public some days. You might not. If you're in the inner circle, you're going to have access to every session that I do the next 60 days. All right? So some of these sessions are going to be public. Some of them are going to be inside of the inner circle. So like later today, we're going to be live inside the inner circle for New York session. But yeah, when you look at gold right now, it looks like pretty much like a break and retest is happening in this area. Like I think we'll probably go to like 4130, 4125 area. You can see break and retest pretty much happening here. We broke down engulfing candle. I think it's going to try to continue down more. That's what price is currently looking like at the moment. But yeah, a lot of these sessions are going to be public all the way up until September. A lot of them will be, but not every single one will be public, all right? There will be a good amount of public streams, but not every single one will be here public on YouTube, all right? Not every single one. So with that being said, make sure you lock into the inner circle if you're not a part of the inner circle already, because you will miss some sessions. And you never know, one of those sessions you could miss could be a really good session. So we're going to be live a lot either way, regardless. Make sure you tap in when you see me live. But yeah, right now for gold, it's pretty much looking like a break and retest on the 4-hour right now. I think daily is pretty much in a position where it wants to come down. And again, like, trading, again, guys, trading's not always about being predictive and trying to catch everything. If gold's going to go down and there's not a good entry to catch, that's fine. Because, again, there's going to be setups Wednesday. There's going to be setups Thursday going into the end of the week, middle week, towards the end of the week. This is the beginning of the week. Most traders, like I said, rush into the week and try to predict everything because they want to be right. They don't want to miss out, right? And that's when you get to be more of an emotional trader. Okay, so gold does look like a break and retest sort of happening in this area. As you can see, we could potentially go down. We could mark some whole numbers on the chart. Like if you actually look at gold, $4,200 got tapped. So one thing we primarily focus on with gold, if you're new to gold trading, some of you guys might be new to gold trading, you have to understand one thing about gold. Well, not just one thing, but there's one main thing you need to understand about gold. If you want to be a gold trader, like if you actually really want to be a gold trader and understand gold, I've been trading gold for a while. You need to understand the psychological levels, key levels, hold numbers. So this right here is one thing to understand about gold, is that we do have key price levels. So there's key price levels to watch with gold. These are whole numbers. Trust me, this is very key because thousands of traders are using this now because, like, I mean, not even I mean tens of thousands. There's companies out there that have built systems, scanners, tools based off of this. I started teaching this in 2018, 2019 is when I started teaching this. And then in 2022, I really started teaching it. This blew up in 2022, 2023. Now you got, I'm telling you, you got companies, you got other traders, you got other people who base a lot of their system off of this. Where did it come from? I don't know where it came from. It's this. I learned this from Quarters theory. I didn't make this up. I took something and applied it to gold. So if you go on YouTube and you type in quarters theory, I learned this many, many years ago. I'm talking 10 years ago is when I started studying this stuff. 10, 11 years ago. So I actually learned this. I guarantee you this video has probably gotten way more views because of me too. I learned this from here. So this is where I learned this, and I'm talking 10 years ago. So I was like 18 years old, 19 years old at the time when I started studying this. 10 years ago. Imagine going to work. I would go to work, come home, study this stuff, but I would study it on currency pairs. I wasn't a gold trader yet. I didn't start trading gold yet at this point. I only was focusing on currency pairs. Then one day, randomly, I went on gold and I started marking this. It was randomly one day, me on my own, random day. I just started marking gold and I just started studying. This was in 2018-ish. This was like maybe like, I don't know, like the random day, because like I started studying this 10 years ago. And then I started trading gold really in like 2018, 2019. That's when I started studying this 10 years ago, and then I really started trading gold in 2018, 2019. This is one thing this is where I learned this. And so it didn't come, like, it's not something I invented, but I took it and I applied it to gold, right? And then I started coming up with the $10 and $5 levels, which is good for scalping and day trading. So if you want to be a gold trader, you have to understand something that's called key price levels or hold numbers. Very, very important. Gold respects hold numbers very, very often. Hold numbers could be something like $4,200 right here. $4,200. That right there is a hold number. All right, $4,200. That's what we call a whole number. A level ending in zeros. As you can see, it's ending in zeros. So it gives us that round number, that whole number. Gold is very, very respective to these levels. This is something that if you really, really want to master gold, like you really want to master gold trading, get good at it, see where it reacts, understand where it reacts, and not randomly, like not just random reactions. Because when you see something like this, right, it's not necessarily random when we add the price with it here, right? We got that $4,200 level. It's not a random reaction, because these types of reactions literally happen all the time on gold. So it's very important to focus on them. But yeah, someone asked about 4170. That would be good if it gets up there. Like gold does look like a break and retest. Someone asked about 4170. Like if you can catch it, I mean, it does look like gold wants to go down. Which if I invert the chart, I like to invert the chart at times, flip it upside down. You can see this area, break, retesting. So it's probably going to stay below that area that we just broke underneath. If you could get an entry there, yeah, that's a possibility to come down and give you more of a movement down on gold. If you can get a good entry, like I said, I'm not into chasing entries these days. People always want me to send trades every day, every hour. A lot of people got used to me sending trades frequently every single day. I'm not in that phase right now. Sometimes I like to operate and put my energy towards just focusing on the market a certain way. So I'm not scalping the market right now. I'm not hyper trading right now. I'm looking for one clean setup at a time, and that's it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, there's always going to be time to find trade setups every single week, every single month, okay, guys? That's one thing I want everybody to understand here on this session. But yeah, gold looks like break and retest up here. It's pretty much hanging. I would, like I said, like to see if we come down. Maybe I'm going to find a sell in there. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to find a sell setup personally, and I'm not worried about that. I do have a bias and understanding of where price could go, but I'm not worried about catching every little move unless all my confirmations fit together. You know, right now I can see, like I said, daily time frame, bearish at the moment. So what does gold look like from this point of view with market structure? It looks like it could come down, possibly to this area. All right. I would rather personally wait and see if it comes down here and then maybe look for the buy, because right here for me is not, I don't like the entry here. I'm not willing to take a sell here. I would rather wait. You know, I could try to see if this trade plays out. You know, I'm not trying to take that sell here. Personally, that's just me personally, right? So yeah, gold does look like it could come down possibly to this area. This would be an area I would watch, which is going to be around 4,100, right? It's a little bit below 4,100. As you can see, it's around 4,100, maybe 4,075 there. But yeah, basically want to see if gold can come down to that area this week. Potentially an area I'm going to be watching this week if gold does come down there for a reaction. And that's an area that I just have marked. I have highlighted. I'm not just going to take a trade right when the market gets there and jump into the market and expect it to go up 1,000 pips. I have my level marked. I have my zone marked. I'm going to let price come there. And I'm going to be an observer, not a predictor. Most traders want to predict these days. You need to be an observer. Okay, there's a difference between predicting and observing things. Most traders these days, especially in 2026, are predictors. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna wait till gold comes down. I'm not scalping $5 levels, $10 levels right now. We'll maybe get into that type of style maybe later on in the month, or maybe in August as we do more sessions and we get more flow going. I know everybody's excited for these sessions. Live trading, let's go. We got to get the flow going. We got to get the rhythm, the repetition, and the consistency. You can't expect session number 1 out of 60 guys who are going to make it all in one session. Everybody's excited for these sessions, I know. Everybody wants trades, I know. We got to think about the repetition and consistency long term, all right? I know it's session number 1. Everyone's fired up. Live trading, let's go. Be a calm trader. Be a calm trader because there's more days ahead of us. We got to keep the rhythm. We got to build the flow. You got to build the consistency. You don't just walk into the gym for the first time. If you've never worked out before, let's say you've never worked out before. You don't just jump into the gym for the first time and start lifting up 300 pounds, right? Or 200 pounds. You don't just deadlift. You don't just deadlift 225 pounds if you've never deadlifted before, right? You don't just squat 2 plates right away, right? So we got to build that rhythm, that flow, that consistency. And how do you do that? Honestly, you just show up every day. You just show up every day. That's it. You just got to show up every day, because if you show up Monday, Tuesday, and you're like, I'm not going to, you show up Monday, Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, you sleep in, you don't look at the charts, you might miss your setup Wednesday, Thursday that you were waiting for. So yeah, gold here, looking like we're going to try to come down maybe. This is what I got marked up on the daily time frame. Damn, man, I ordered some food here and they canceled my order? What haters? That's weird. Freaking Colombia, man. Bruh. That is terrible. That is brutal. Brutal. Can't even get, man, can't wait to get back. Honestly, I actually can't wait to go home. Colombia is great, but bruh. Bro, it was 4 minutes away and then it got canceled. It was on the way. Where's my food? Wow. That is just terrible. I'm gonna cry. I'm so hungry. I just woke up like so hungry. Ay. They would cancel my order. How do they do that? How are you right down the road? Say the driver literally texted me like, I'm 10 minutes away. I'll be there soon. And then they just canceled the order. Bro, what? No, I was so excited too. It was going to be here in like 10, 20. I was so excited. Now I'm going to cry. Now I'm going to cry. I'm kidding, but damn, yo. They really got me there. They really just... I just got rug pulled. Yep, I just got rug pulled. I just got rug pulled, guys. So I'm thinking down before up this week. Honestly, yeah, I'm thinking down before up this week. Last week, we do have a pretty spicy candle that reversed last week. If you look at gold last week, very strong reversal last week on gold at a very key psychological level, $4,000. So again, when we talk about whole numbers, $4,000, that's a really psychological level right there. You know, 4,000, it's a round flat number. So we can actually see last week, we got a pretty strong reversal at that 4,100 or that $4,000 level. Yeah, to me, and you can see the green candle we got last week, and it actually reversed right at this area here to the left. You can see here on gold. Nice level that got really reversed last week. It makes sense when you look at it now. I was buying, and the funny thing is I was buying last week and I was kind of early because price did go below 4,000. So that's where I took those losses, was I was buying before, you know, those losses I took last week. Was buying a little bit before 4,000 and around 4,000, and the market actually went below 4,000, and many people were criticizing me saying, Evan, why are you buying? It's going down. Clearly, market's dropping. We're clearly in a bearish market, but I was trying to buy low around that psychological level, and that's why I was still able to capitalize last week, was because I still understood the buys are going to be there. Even though I lost on my buys, I didn't sit there and go, oh my God, I got to sell now. It's going down. Or, no, I stayed calm, remained patient, and the buys still ended up holding $4,000 level, as you can see last week. So what it's looking like is we're getting pretty much like the same price action we got kind of like over here in a way. To the left, you can see what gold did. Last time it was at $4,000. We did make a strong reversal. So I'm kind of looking for price to go back to 4,000. Honestly, I would want to see it try to come back, you know, to this like support that it made, which is going to be around 4,080. So a little bit below 4,100, and maybe between even like the wick that it made. Like I would rather see gold come down quickly, maybe back to retest some of that support that it made, before trying to go up potentially longer term. We did reverse pretty well last week, as you can see. We made a nice reversal on gold here, and we could try to come back, like I said. Pretty much what I think gold could do, if you look, pretty similar price action when you look at it. So I'm going to remove drawings real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to circle here. And, man, my voice, man. I lost my voice, bro. It's so annoying. Can't wait to get out of Colombia. I'm ready to go home. You might think I was watching the soccer game and I was just yelling too much. And I was smoking hookah at the same time. Oh, it wasn't from other stuff, all right? We had this breakout. Yeah, I sound like, it's like, Jack, come back. I sound like Rose from Titanic. Jack, come back. I sound like freaking Rose over here. Jack, come back. Jack, come back. Holy, literally. I literally sound like Rose. Jack, come back. That's how I sound. Sound like Rose right now. Yeah, like gold to me looks like it's repeating what it did. If you look, you had like this breakout up. And to me, I think we got like that breakout up here. See, like similar movement, same area too. It's like behaving how it behaved to the left there. So what I want is it to do that same pullback, right? I want it to do that pullback. You can see we broke up here to the left and then we came down. And look at, let's zoom in over there so you can get some context here, what I'm saying and what I'm seeing. So if you look, wow, it's like the same with a low there too. There's a nice break and retest there, see? Gold made this shift up. The food here is good, but yo, food in Canada is fire. Not gonna lie. I think the food in Canada is just more filling, man. I've eaten so much here and I haven't even like gained weight. Have I? No, I haven't even like gained weight. Like, bro, I'm eating so much food here and I don't even feel like I'm gaining weight. like at all. Bum, bum, bum. If you look at gold here, you can see what the daily did. That's why I gotta talk with a deep voice. I gotta talk like, we're making similar price action this week. You can see there was a nice break and retest that happened. So pretty much like when I look at gold right now, again, daily's just kind of hanging here. We're probably going to come down. Come down, test the daily area. So like levels I'll watch if we come to 4,100, I'll watch 4,100. Maybe take some buys at 4,100 and see if it reacts. If it doesn't react quick enough, I'll get out. But I'm going to wait for like that overall area and see how price, again, observe. I can take a buy off 4,100, but I don't have to have the expectancy that it has to react. If it doesn't react too quickly off of 4,100, I'll get out. And yeah, like gonna be just focusing on that daily area because I think we do come down to that. Maybe get a reaction in there. As you can see, like we did over here. It's very similar price action I'm looking at. Can you guys see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It's very similar. As you can see, markets pretty much did like the same thing in there. So if we can get a pullback down into that daily area, I think that's a good setup. Let's invert the chart and see what it looks like. I mean, bearish overall trend here. I'll be bearish if we make a new low, like if we break underneath 4K. I'd rather watch this to kind of start off the week. So you could get some sells, right? Like you could possibly get some sells down to start off the week. Again, when you look at 4 hour, freaking canceled my order. Haters. Freaking haters. When you look at the 4 hour, bro is like 5 minutes away with the food. What is like? Where's the food then? What happened? I'm so confused. Bro, I ordered a box. I ordered Pizza Hut. I literally ordered a pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut. And it said it was literally like right down the road. What the hell? I'm so confused. Where'd the pizza go then? And the restaurant's still open. That's when you know I'm hangry right now. I'm hangry. I'm hungry. I swear I don't get full here. It's bad. I don't know. I don't know. You could possibly look for the sells, right? Like There could be rejection in that area. I want to see if we do come down closer to 4,100. 4,100 is one of those levels I'm going to keep marked. And that pretty much lines up with the daily area. What are you guys saying in the chat? Is you funded my firm? No. But I know the owners. Damn, yeah, Christian. No, newsflash for some of y'all in here. You're going to learn patience these days. I mean, yeah, like I tell trade, like you're not trading, you're waiting. You're waiting. Nah, YouFunded's not my firm, but I know the people. They're good people. They're gonna eat my food, bro. Yo, he got hungry, bro. Rug pull live. It happens all the time in Colombia. Great. Good to know. Yeah. I just got rug pulled. He was 4 minutes away with my pepperoni pizza. The restaurant's still open. That's how I know. You can still order. It's not even that far, bro. This place isn't far. I could literally jog there. I should have just jogged there. I could literally jog to this restaurant. It's not even that far. I could jog there. You don't want to be jogging at these times though. In Colombia. Yeah, the motorcycles on the street. That's something you don't want to hear. You don't want to be outside and hear a motorcycle just fast behind you. It's like that is not the sound you want to hear. What do we got? We got South Africa in the house. Where are you guys tuning in from? We got South Africa in the house. What's good? What's good? So there was a trade last week I took. Made $9,745. Almost $10,000 on this trade. And if you look, I was actually focusing on really simple stuff. Like any trader could have caught this trade. Like any one of you guys that really know like the basics, at least if you're past like the basics, let's say you're more like intermediate advanced, you should have been able to spot this trade setup too. Like I'm going to show you it here right now, step by step. Really simple one actually. And it kind of just shows you the power of waiting sometimes, because you can't predict when a trade like this is going to happen, because one, it happened on Thursday. So Monday, I couldn't have seen this trade, or Tuesday or Wednesday, I couldn't have really seen this trade on like the beginning of the week, kind of like where we are right now. And that's where it just comes down to like observing and waiting for things. So the trade that really made my week last week, even though I lost more trades than I won, I lost 2 trades and I won 1 trade last week. That's the difference in, I think risk to reward in trading, obviously. But I can't predict this trade on Monday, Tuesday. Like the $9,000 trade, I didn't see it on Monday. I didn't see it on Tuesday. I saw it literally pretty much in the moment it was there on, Wednesday going into Thursday. So it was Wednesday going into Thursday, like middle week towards the end of the week. So it's like predicting, yeah, you can draw arrows on the chart, predict things, but sometimes there's things that are clearly there in the moment. So I was buying gold in this area right here, around 4,045. This is where I was taking buys on gold in this area. So in the moment, the chart looked like this. And again, like I said, like I couldn't have predicted this trade on Monday. This trade made my week last week. It would have been a bad week. It would have been, I'm not going to say a bad, like terrible week in terms of like, oh man, like bad week. Like what is a bad week? Is losing a trade. If you lose 1 trade or 2 trades in a week, is that a bad week? Yes, if those trades are uncontrolled risk. If it's like you blew your account, or you got margin called, or you lost more money than you should have. A losing trade doesn't have to be necessarily always a bad trade. It's just sometimes a part of the process. The hit rate over time. It's not about the 1 trade you take. It's about the next 200 trades you take in the next year, or the next 100 trades you take in the year, right? Think about it. You have 52 weeks in a year, right? We got 52 weeks in a year. So if I take 1 trade per week, I'm going to take 52 trades in the year, right? over time. So if you take one trade a week, you can't measure everything on that one trade. It's the 52 trades you take in a year. So if you're taking one trade per day, these numbers multiply, right? If you take two trades a day, if you take 2 trades a week, it multiplies. If you take 3 trades a week, it multiplies, right? So you got to think about your numbers and your hit rate over time, how often you're making decisions. Because more decisions usually is like having more effort. Like if you're putting more effort, more screen time, let's say, like more screen time is probably going to lead to more decisions. So if I'm thinking of a clear framework would be I'm going to take one trade per week because I know that's X amount of trades per year or X amount of trades per month. More screen time is going to mean you're open to more decisions. Like the more screen time you have on the charts, your brain is going to start seeing things that aren't there because you want to make money, you want to trade, you want to be in the markets. Your brain has a funny thing of doing things. The more time you spend on the charts, you start to see patterns that aren't even there. You start to see things that you want to see, right? That aren't even really there. So you have to think like 52 weeks in the year. If I'm taking one trade per week, that's going to be 52 trades in the year, right? How much am I risking on those trades? If I'm taking one trade per week, am I going to risk $100 on that trade? Am I going to risk $500? Am I going to risk $50? What is my risk for that one trade per week or 2 trades per week? But it becomes a numbers game at some point, but you have to have your risk down. You have to know, okay, I'm going to take one trade per week, and that one trade is win or lose. I've already accepted it. You have to accept it beforehand. That one trade per week, let's say you're going to risk $100 per trade, right? You risk $100 per trade. Maybe you're taking one trade per week and you risk $100 on that one trade. Right? That becomes like a different angle to the chart because now you know I'm risking $100 a week. Not taking trades aimlessly. Whatever your account size is, whatever. It could be I'm just going to risk 100. You could put $100 in your account for the week and say I'm going to risk this for the week. It doesn't have, you don't have to have a big account to necessarily risk $100 once per week. It's about how many times you're operating, how many times you're doing something, and being able to manage that risk and put that risk on comfortably and not be scared to put the risk on. $100 per week, right? If you're taking one trade per week, honestly, you might lose one trade one week. The next trade, you could make $400, $500. If you can get that $100 risk or whatever the $100 is, the $100, I'm just using $100 as an example. It could be $10, it could be $50, it could be $20. Your goal is to try to multiply that $100 on your winning trades to $400, $500, $300. It's very, very possible in trading. You have to be patient to let those trades come to you. Now, if you're taking 5 trades per week, which is one trade a day, you got to think that really multiplies the numbers, right? The numbers get very, very multiplied there. Most people don't think about the long-term stretch of that. They don't think of all those trades over time, right? Over time, you're taking trades January, February, March, April. So this is where less becomes more over time because good setups take time to form. There has to be a balance of waiting and trading. So if you waited 5 hours for a good trade, 10 hours for a good trade, you have to have that balance of holding the trade. And then when you close the trade, let's say you close a trade, there has to be a balance afterwards of not rushing right into the next trade, okay? Most traders don't have that balance. Last week, this trade setup right here, anyone could have maybe spotted this trade setup. Really, really simple if you know the basics. This was that trade that made $9,745 last week. Really, really simple trade when you just look at the 4-hour chart. If you're a new trader and you're looking for good setups weekly, focus on the 4-hour time frame. All right. So if you look at this in terms of market structure, there's a really good market structure here because the market pushes up, comes back down. So you have this low, high, higher low. Market comes up, makes a higher high. So you have some market structure here sort of building up. And now gold is trading in this area right here, which you can see to the left was an area where it reacted as resistance here. And again, here it reacted as resistance. So there's just some technical stuff you're putting together here, right? Now to arrive to this trade, that's the thing, arriving to this trade setup, like it actually presenting itself took time because Mondays over here, Sunday, market opened right here. This is where the market opened on this candle. So it's not like you could have really predicted this trade ahead of time based on how the market presented itself, how it arrives, how the candlesticks end up printing themselves. That trade's there in the moment. And that's one thing about showing up every day on the charts and just looking at what's there, spending some time to do your technicals, mark some levels, and just see if there's a good trade setup. If you don't see a good trade setup, you don't have to overcomplicate your effort. You don't have to put more effort into the job thinking you're going to find something because you always want to be right. Good trade setups will present themselves when they're there. Easy ones, clear ones that you can say, you know what? I like what I see here. I'm going to take this trade, right? This was the trade I took last week. I targeted 4,100. Simple trade. My stop loss was literally at like 4,036. It was here. This was the trade I took last week on gold. This made me good profit. Could have even been a bigger trade had I held it longer. Could have been an even bigger trade for me if I held it much longer. It could have been a $22,000 trade. But I'm all about where I'm entering, positioning myself in a good entry point. But yeah, gold, like I said, right now, it looks very familiar. I mean, similar to what price did over here. Even like the candlestick, even like it made a resistance right there, broken retest. You know, we have like the same area and the same spot. So it's going to be interesting to see this week if we come down into that area, if we do react off of it. I think we possibly could if we can come down into it. Again, you can look left and literally see like the same area, almost around the same spot. Almost like literally around the same spot, but similar price action happening around there. So I want to see if we come down. Gold is in an interesting spot though. I'm going to show you something else soon. I'd be interested in seeing if we get like that move. Possibly this week we could on gold. Possibly we could. If we do come down, if we can come down to that area. That's at least what I'm seeing to start the week, right? This is just to start the week off, right? Some analysis. Some people like to, call it like forecasting the chart, like you're forecasting something. Damn, man. It's like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Need like some food. I'm gonna get hangry here. Yeah, I like that play to start off the week. Gold, interesting spot right now. I'm wondering if we're gonna bottom out this summer like we did last year or the year before. If you actually look at gold, if you look at the gold chart the last 2 years, so we are July right now. Let's put last July. Last July is like last July starts right there. And then let's go back 2 years ago as well. Gold might, honestly, like I'm not trying to be optimistic here or get you guys like excited here, but gold might try to go on a bullish run soon. If you look at, if you look at the last 2 years, what do you notice? If you look at this chart, look at the last 2 years. Whoops. Is my camera in the way? Is my camera in the way? I don't think so. If you look at the last 2 years on gold, and a lot of stuff has happened in the last 2 years, needless to say that it's affected the market. Thank you, Donald Trump, for that, I guess. Thank you, not thank you at the same time. It's like, it's been a hectic couple of years. Even this year has been, I mean, just tweets every day. The guy, Donald Trump, doesn't stop talking. He does not shut up. He needs to just shut up sometimes. Like, literally. Like, I don't care if you like him, if you dislike him. Just be quiet, man. Like, just for a bit, you know? Like, just chill. Like, literally, just chill. Yeah, but like, especially between like February, March, and April. Oh my gosh. Like, just chill, bro. Like, just chill. Like, guy needed to chill. Like, February, March, and April. Holy, that guy could not chill. And I swear he still doesn't just chill. Donald Trump has no chill. Like, how old's the guy? How old is he? He has a lot of energy for someone that old. I think he's old as fuck, no? Like, he's old. He's an old fart, man. Joe Biden didn't have that. Joe Biden was old too. That guy had like dementia. Donald Trump, I don't know what he got. He got something. That guy got something. I don't know what he got, but maybe gold has bottomed out. Gold might have bottomed out. Might have. Now, the reason I say that is because if we look at the last 2 years, there's been an interesting pattern. And even when we look at like gold seasonality, so when we talk about, let's just go on this real quick. Gold tends to bottom out June, July. Like going into July. When we look at seasonality here, if you look at the gold chart and you go look at April, May to where we are now, going into June, pretty similar correction, bearish trend. But notice what gold just did at the end of June, going into July. We might have bottomed out. We might have bottomed out on gold. And going into like August, September, October, usually by October, if we mark, let's go back to the chart now. Let's mark October real quick. So I'll make October green. Let's make it green. Let's make it a little thicker. Let's make it green. So I just marked October there. Interesting. Seasonality does say that gold can bottom out this time of the year, or it can start to rally, slowly start to build up and rally towards like September, October. When you look at the chart the last 2 years, gold created some pretty strong trends between July and October, where the price did go up significantly in that time. Right? If you look at the last 2 years, especially here on gold. Maybe even kind of like, not the last 3 years, no. But yeah, when you look at the last 2 years, I mean, the last 2 years have been pretty hectic. with the markets, with the world, like just all the geopolitical stuff, a lot of news. We literally had a war, like the war this year, like USA and Iran with Israel, all that. Holy, the middle, like it's been quite a year to say the least. But if you look at last year, you can see end of June. That would have been July, right there. See July 7th there. So you got like end of June, July there. Gold like kind of bottomed out. You can see we didn't just go up, but we bottomed out. We started consolidating a bit, and then August towards September started pushing up. By October, extremely bullish. The last 2 years, gold has been extremely bullish. You can see the year before it kind of bottomed out, chopped around, but started really rallying August, September towards October. By October, this thing was extremely bullish, as you can see. So this year, honestly, it's pretty interesting now what gold did. Maybe by October, I'm kind of thinking it could happen by October. I'm thinking we probably will potentially try to go bullish again. Now, what's a key underlying factor to maybe keep that bias? Maybe say, okay, we can maintain that way of thinking. Like we can think like that as long as we stay above $4,000, I think. As long as we stay above 4K, 4,100, I think it'll do that. I think it'll go for that as long as we stay above 4,100, 4K. So I might be looking for swing trades on gold to like, or more like not even swing trades, position trades, really. Like a position trade is something you hold for maybe even a couple months, a month beyond that. The timing could be everything. Like if you're trying to do a position trade, like entering now, you're going to have to hold longer to get that expectancy, right? It's like if you buy now and you hold until October, you're going to hold longer than maybe if you buy in August or middle of August. Entry timing could be a factor in how long you hold, right? Like as long as price sort of stays above $4,000, $4,100, I think it could be okay to think like that with gold. So longer term here, which is like the next few months, like July, August, September, October, the next like quarter here, potentially it could try to stay above that $4,000, $4,100 level. We're in that period now where it might have bottomed out like it has the last couple of years. When you actually look at the price action on gold, you can literally see, alas, I put the red line. The red line is end of June going into July. The green line is October. So that's one thing also I'm looking at on gold. Maybe for a longer term, there could be potentially a position here if seasonality plays out as well. So you talk about gold seasonality. If you look at the last few months, like if you look at, April, May going into June, gold's been coming down. Like gold's been in that down, but now we're potentially at that bottom, or potentially in a time where it starts to go slowly grow and have more of a bullish phase. It could be trying to do that in terms of seasonality. That's something to consider because I personally think that I think it's going to happen. I think closer to like middle of August, September, gold will be rallying going into September and then October. It might chop around. It might not move as much. It might not move as much now. Maybe it chops around, but that growth I think will come maybe later going into September, October. The last 2 years, gold has moved pretty strong, as you can see. Something I think to just be overall aware of or pay attention to. And last week we might have bottomed out last week. I don't know where it would go because again, like it could move like this much, which honestly it could go up back to 5K. Could be like, a bigger move, with time. That is one thing I'm currently actually seeing on the gold chart. I'm seeing that potentially long term. Doesn't have to be like, wow, USD CAD 142. Jeez, 142 USD to CAD. If you're in Canada, USD to CAD is crazy. Maybe that plays out in terms of longer term. Like, I would say if it stays above 4K, $4,100, that does have long-term potential. That goes with like seasonality where the longer term trend could fit in. If you go look at the last 2 years, it's literally played out. Potentially. That's why I have more like when I came on, I said I'm not really looking for sells, but I do think it could drop, but I'd rather wait for the buys. That's why I think like this next month, I'm mainly going to be looking for buys and trying to hold them. Now, when you're looking for a long trade like that, it's like you could make another account and try to swing trade, like, because there's going to be weekly trades I could take like this. And it's like those same weekly trades I take on this account, I could take them on another account and try to hold them until break even. So it's like, if you have a problem holding your winners, you could always have, like, I have a funded account here, and then I also trade on MetaTrader. I could take the same trade on one account. Let's say I have two accounts. I have one account. So let's say I have one account, and then my second account. I could take the same trades on both accounts. But one account I could close just like a regular trade, like I usually close in the day or in the week. So let's just say gold comes down to here and I take a buy on both accounts that I have. I take a buy on two accounts and price reacts and it's in profit. I close on one account, the other one, I leave it till break even. And I could do the same thing with every trade. That's one way you may be able to hold your winning trades longer. Then instead of cutting them early, you could have two separate accounts where you take the same trade on each account. You might take one trade you might get a different entry point on the other account doing this too, because you'll be logged into one account. You take the entry, and maybe you wait a bit to take the entry on the other account. Maybe you get a better entry. Maybe you get in a bit early. Maybe just better average entry presents itself. But in the sense of like holding, not cutting your winning trades too early. If you have two accounts that you trade on, you take the same trade on each account. One of them you close with the intention of like day trading or scalping or intraday trading. And the other one, you just hold until it comes back to your entry. If you're really trying to swing trade something, that's one way to go about it because, or like maybe if you struggle at holding your winning trades, you close your winning trades too early. I mean, everyone closes their winning trades too early. You're never going to close your trades like perfect 100% of the time. But yeah, for me, gonna wait, see if we come down. Like I said, we're above 4K. Like gold really respected that 4K level to me. As you can see, we made like rejection. We made daily rejection around there. So we even had 2 daily candles that rejected. So to me, it's respected 4K. I want to see if it like comes down closer to 4,100, maybe even a bit below 4,100 in that area. Potentially looking for buys in there and seeing if those can hold. That's like what I'm looking at to start off this week. If you're looking at, like I said, the 4 hour, I said this before not that long ago, you might be getting like a break and retest here. Might be getting like a break and retest in this area. Dollar to me like reversed last week. But look at dollar, looks like it's gonna want to go down more to me. Dollar like looks like it reversed last week to me. Yeah, like I don't personally like it respected 4150. Could have took a buy off of there. That's again a psychological level. You can see 4150. It did respect there. There was a bit of a rejection candle. I personally, like I said, think for me right now on gold, there might be a break and retest in this area to continue down. Yeah, like 4175 there. Yeah, 4170. So I know someone mentioned 4170 in the chat. 4165, 4170 area. There could be a bit of a reaction in here. Potentially. That's like all I see on gold right now. Otherwise, what I marked up on the daily. But I'm going to be live again in New York session today. If you're inside the inner circle, I'm going to be live New York session as well. So like I said, for the next 2 months, going to be live every single day. London session, New York session. Do we have a trade entry here? Dollar looks like it's rejecting here. Dollar has been pushing up a bit here in gold. Pushing up at the same time. I want gold, like I said, I want gold to come down pretty much like it did over here to the left daily. Doesn't mean I have to look for sells. Like this area, I might take like a small position, but there's no rejection at the moment. Definitely interesting price behavior. Just gave like a nice reversal in here at 4150. Gold just reversed at like 4150. Could have been taking buys there, but like I said, I wasn't rushing into anything coming into this week. Might be like more of a sell setup here. I'll take a small sell on gold because it is the beginning of the week. Like I don't want to position myself too big. Like I'll start entering small sells on gold. See if we get like a reaction here. We are going for like potentially a break and retest. This could be more like a scalping intraday setup. Oh, ew, what the fuck? Fucking Colombia, these bugs, man. Bruh. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Where's my food, man? Holy, yo, Colombia is on one for deliveries. They can't do, you know. I should have just jogged there. I should have just jogged. I should have just took an Uber. Should have just took an Uber taxi. Yeah, that would have been easier. I'm going to see if break and retest works in here. This is a trade that I'm taking. I'm going to monitor it for the next hour or two. If it doesn't really react in the next hour, I'll just close it like break even. This is not a trade signal. This is just a trade I'm entering. I only send trade signals inside my inner circle group. That's where I'm the most comfortable at sending them. But I'm going to treat this more like a scalping setup. Short-term scalping trade here. Break and retest. Like I said, I ran down the analysis with you guys here tonight on what I see on gold. I'm going to do it one more time before I get off. Got to get a little shut-eye before New York session. Going to hold this trade for a little bit, see how it goes. Again, this is session number 1 of the week, guys. This isn't the only trade, right? This isn't the only trade you're going to see me take live this week. There's going to be other trades. So just don't treat this like it's everything, right? Every time if I lose a trade, people treat it like it's the end of the world. It's not. I lost 2 trades last week. I have my risk, right? I enter trades how I want to, like how I feel like entering. That's why like trading isn't just like read a book and everyone's going to be able to do it that way. It's a lot of psychology in trading, right? Every human has their own emotions, their own instincts, their own experience, their own risk, their own capital, their own money, their lot size that they're comfortable with too. So yeah, I'm in gold sells looking at, like I said, if the daily could come down, I've given you guys a few things to potentially kind of observe. Remember, observe going into this week. You could potentially come down into here, maybe back to $4,100, right? And this area where we have like that daily area, we could potentially retrace down into there. That's like an area where maybe we could watch for buys, especially if the market actually forms a high here. Like if we actually form a high here and it looks like we have, and we retrace, we have the low here. So that would be honestly like a good setup because it'll probably stay above that low. We'd probably end up making a higher low at some point, right? Possibly come down, create a higher low. We have the low here. We could stay above that low potentially, right? If we go 4 hour, you're getting like a mini break and retest right now. So potentially it could hold. If this 4 hour doesn't flip, I'll probably close my trade. Wherever it is, like I'm not going to lose. I want you to understand something. Like if I'm getting like 1% of my account, I don't need to risk 1%. 1% of my account would be up here. Well, right here would be 1% of my account. I'm not going to risk 1% of my account on this trade. I might risk a couple $100. If it doesn't really react in the next couple hours, I'm willing to lose that couple $100 to see if my, trade reacts. That's like, I'm not going to risk 1% on this trade. There's no point. I'm not risking 4,000, 5,000. I'm seeing how the market reacts here. Using a small enough lot size that if it doesn't really react here, I can just close the trade with maybe just a small minor loss that doesn't really affect me. One, affect me financially, which if it affects you financially, it's going to affect you emotionally. So that's the thing about this trade. Like I'm taking a trade here where market could potentially react in an area. I'm going to watch, observe, and see if it reacts or not. If it doesn't really react in the next 2 hours, guys, I'll get out of the trade. But I haven't put myself in a position where I can lose too much money. Where it's like, why did I'm not in that trade where it's like I'm risking a lot. If I want to risk 1% of my account would be up here, right? I'm not going to hold a stop loss till then. I'd rather see how this maybe reacts in the next couple of hours. If it doesn't really react in the next couple of hours, you know what? I'll just close it at where it is. And that's how I like to trade. That's how I like to trade, Evan. That might not be everyone's style though. At the end of the day, that might not work for everyone, but that's how I like to trade. That's how I'm comfortable with trading with my money, my lot size, and my risk, right? I'll put myself in trades where it's like, okay, let's see if the market reacts here. And I'll get in a size that isn't oversized. I'm not oversized here because look at where 1% of my account would be. So one thing is like the traders who are, really scaling or just trading smart nowadays are also trading with like, you can see my balance, guys. I'm not trading with $100 here. I'm not trading with $500. I recommend get a funded account. This is you funded. You can get a funded account with you funded. It's instant funding. You just have to buy the accounts and you're instantly funded. You can withdraw the next day. If you purchase an account with you funded and you make profit today, you can literally withdraw it the same day. You can withdraw it the next day. There's no challenges, no restrictions, no rules. There's just a maximum drawdown. So my only rule on this account is I can't go to my maximum drawdown. I can't lose 8%. So, I mean, I'm not in a trade right now where it's like I have a lot of risk. Understand that. This is not a lot of risk. If it doesn't really play out, I'll be able to see that maybe in the next 2 hours if price doesn't really play out. And I'll close the trade if it doesn't. I do that. I've done that a lot. You guys are going to learn a lot these next 60 days if you actually lock in. Because this is how one trader trades the market. This is how I like to trade certain setups, right? And this is not a trade I'm sending a signal on. If you're in the inner circle, I'm not sending a signal on this trade. I don't send all trades that I take on signals. This is not a trade that I think is worth me sending a signal on. Not saying it's a bad setup, but I just understand where the market's at and I want to trade what I see. I'm not saying it's a bad setup, but again, like I don't send signals for every single trade I enter like this. Because there's more understanding behind this trade setup in terms of like why I'm entering and maybe how I manage the trade. Because like I said, if it doesn't really react in 2 hours, I'm going to close it. And we'll see. It's in an area where we could potentially get a break and retest on price. That's what I was observing at the beginning of the session. This candle has 2 hours left on it. So if it doesn't go down, if I wanted to wait for another trade setup, guys, I wouldn't be entering this trade. So this trade doesn't have to happen. I could wait till tomorrow. I could wait till Tuesday. I could wait till Wednesday for a trade. But I'm going to enter this trade based on what I see. And I'm going to use a small enough position where I'm not going to get things out of hand. I'm not going to risk 1% every trade. I don't need to risk 1% every trade to make $10,000 on a trade. I don't. I proved that last week, right? I literally proved that with this trade. I lost $2,500 on a trade. That was not even 1% of my account. $2,700, not even 1% of my account. But look at the winning trade I took, right? So, I mean, this is just a light trade for me, right? This is a trade I'm taking personally. If you want to enter it, use your own risk management. It's not a trade you have to enter. If you're inside of my inner circle community, I send my signals there, right? Every single week, I send signals inside of the inner circle community, right? Those are trades that I send with certain criteria, certain confidence, certain conviction, all right? Certain behaviors. There's many reasons you can take a trade. The reason I'm taking this trade is because we have a possible break and retest in this area on the 4 hour. That's why I'm entered gold sells right now. There's a possible break and retest in this area. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit to the position. It's not a big position for my account, though. Again, I'd be down a couple $100. Like the most I'll probably lose on this trade would be like $1,000, maybe $1,200 if it doesn't react. That's like the most I would probably lose, $1,000 to $1,200, maybe like $800 to $1,200 for me. So price is trading in an area where potentially it could react, potentially make a move back down to the low, or maybe come down even to this area. But I'm definitely not risking 1% on this trade. How do I know that? Guys, that's experience. It's just my experience. I'm showing you guys an experience here. There's not a singular answer between how do you know you're not going to risk 1%? I'm not going to lose 1% on this trade. I can't. It's impossible. If I do, I'm stupid. If I lose 1% on this trade, that is stupid of me, right? I don't need to lose 1% on this trade. If it really goes down, what if this goes down to $4,100? I could potentially make 1%. I'm not going to lose 1% on this trade though. I'm not going to let that happen. Why? I have experience. I have intuition. I have knowledge. I have understanding. So I might lose $800 on this trade. but I could potentially gain way more than that. That's how I like to trade. So every trader is different. Every human is different. That's why. Not every human being is the same. We don't all think the same. We don't all feel the same. Some of us are more emotional than others. Some of us are less emotional than others. So every trader maybe has, different characteristics to them based on who they are just as a person, right? That's one thing about trading. Yo, my food's never gonna come, is it? I'm going to bed. So I'm in gold sells. You guys will see me take more trades like this on these sessions. You guys, this is not the first trade you guys will see me take on these sessions. All right. I didn't even know I was going to take a trade on this session, but it did pull back to the 4-hour area. Might be a scalp. We'll see. I didn't know I was going to take a trade on this session. Reason I took it is because, again, that break, we might be getting that break and retest here on the 4-hour, right? We might be getting that break and retest here on the 4-hour. So that's the reason I jumped into it. Might have seemed randomly, but I was thinking about it ahead of time. We're going to be live for New York session as well. You can see I'm up literally $174 if I like quick little scalp here potentially. Light pips there though. I entered gold. I got in at you can see 41.63. It just dropped quick little 30 pips there. Almost 40 pips in profit at the moment. 30 pips. 30 pips at the moment. Oh, 30, almost 40 actually. 30 to 40 range soon. If the 1-hour closes bullish, this thing will probably drop. Oh my gosh, my food's on the way. No way. Here we go. It arrives in 5 minutes. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this session up in 5 minutes. All right, guys, 5 minutes. I'll be live New York session as well. I ran down, a couple things about gold. 4-hour break and retest, or even just waiting for the daily to see where the daily sets up. I'm in sells, as you can see. I entered that live in front of you guys in profit a little bit here. Daily, like I said, there could be a bigger setup to wait for. But yeah, there's a lot that I do. There's a lot, most Forex traders, guys, take 1-2 trades a week. You got to understand, I have the ability to take trades every day with my skills and experience. So there's a lot, trading every day is risky. It's more risky than taking 1 to 2 trades a week. So that's one thing you guys got to understand. Trading every day is risky. Right? That's higher risk than maybe taking 1 to 2 trades per day. Per week. But yeah, gold. Daily, you could still wait for that to come down. Maybe watch this area around 4,100 or lower in that daily zone. What's happening right now on the 4-hour is kind of a timely thing with that break and retest here. That mini break and retest in that area. If it doesn't hold that area, if it doesn't go down quick enough in this area, it's okay, maybe the break and retest doesn't exist. That's why I said upon entering this trade, it's I'm gonna hold it for an hour, 2 hours. I'm probably just gonna risk now literally $200 on this trade, which is literally peanuts. See how I got myself in a position now where it's okay, I can just risk $200. If it reacts, it reacts. My bottom line now is $200 risk. I'm trading on $400,000 though, guys. So understand that's peanuts. I could do that every day with no emotion. And now I could potentially just target this low. And it's my risk is $200 to potentially make $1,400. That's how you trade right there. I have the leverage with the account size here, obviously. Okay. I'm going to be live New York session, inner circle only. I won't be public. I'll be live inner circle only. New York session, going to see where gold's at. We'll probably be taking another trade just in that session as well. Like I took this trade live. Probably going to be a different setup, a different view, a different look on that session as well, all right? Like right now we have what we have on gold. And New York session, I'll be live again. Inner circle session. If you're inside the inner circle, I'll see you there. I'll drop the link in Discord. We're probably going to have another setup, entirely different setup there. Gold, break and retest. I mean, this isn't my favorite setup of them all. It is like a mini break and retest. It's a timely thing. Like I said, it needs to kind of just react in this area in the short term for London. If this 4 hour doesn't drop soon, I'm just going to get out of this trade or let it hit my stop loss and wait for tomorrow and see where the market's at. And that's really it. Not like a whole lot tonight. That's just what it is. It's Monday. We're starting the week out. This area maybe gives us a solid reaction. If the 1 hour can close bullish, or sorry, bearish, this should drop. Like if this 1 hour still has 51 minutes left on it, 30-minute has 21 minutes. So like if we can get a bearish close here, this should be able to drop down to the low. We have break and retest happening. So it's like, this is what I'm seeing on gold right now. And, you know, I'll trade what I see. I'm an experienced trader, so I trade what I see. You know, if I see a setup, if it makes sense, I have a bias, I can see something, I will trade what I see personally. But yeah, I'm seeing break and retest in this area. You can even see like the break and retest on the 4 hour. But like I said, I'm going to get going, guys, right now. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be live in 3 hours. If you're inside the inner circle, I'm going to be jumping back on in 3/4 hours. All right. Three, 4 hours going to be live. One moment. Damn, yo, now that this, oh, yo, it's here. Damn, it actually came. I'm gonna be live in about 3-4 hours between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Eastern time. If you're inside the inner circle, this might be a classic break and retest. Who knows what it would need? This 4 hour needs to really drop for it to be a good break and retest. 1 hour needs to close bearish. If this 1 hour closes bearish, this thing could dump. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes, guys. Damn, bro, this guy's calling me. Holy. I'll be back. Give me a minute. I'll be back. Damn, yo, like this guy needs to chill, yo. Holy. I'm gonna just leave the screen on, but I'm just putting my freaking $2,000 shoes on with bare feet. I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. I'm gonna leave the screen on for a bit. I'll play some music if you just want to watch this trade. But I'm gonna wrap this session up in a few. We'll be live for New York session, inner circle session only. If you're not a part of the inner circle, I'm telling you, you're gonna miss out on a lot these next 60 days. This was just session number 1, and look what I'm doing. I'm about to bang out. Oh, dude, I could freaking. That's a week of food here, man. That's a lot of food in Colombia right there. That's a lot of pizzas. There you go, $414. Oh, Leo's up. Yo, Leo, say hi to everyone.
Yo.
Yo.
Did you bang out that trade?
Yeah.
Fact, bro. I knew it.
This guy.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah, wait, take over the stream, all right? I gotta go get I ordered food, man. I'm hungry. All right, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll play some music. This rappy driver's freaking out.
You and me, love for the bed every time that it goes down. I feel the love, I don't need no closure. You feeling down, baby, come let me hold ya. Would you come let me hold ya? Love for the bed every time that it goes down. I feel the love, I don't need no closure. You feeling down, baby, come let me hold ya. Would you come let me hold ya? Tú me encantas, a ti yo te rezo mi santa. Nadie habla como bailar. En la disco te alcanza, es que tú me encantas. A ti yo te rezo mi santa. Yo no como bailar, ninguna en la disco te alcanza. Castígala, dale lo que pide. Estamos en la zona que nada se prohíbe. Dale duro pa' que nunca se olvide. Castígala, castígala. Me envió una foto por texto que me espera sin nada puesto. Ok, baby, escucha el concepto. En el cuarto cae un diluvio. Otra vez te viene, cada vez más yo te estudio. Y hasta que salga el sol me quedo para darte lo tuyo. Los dos bien bellacos, calentamos más que un julio. Castígala, dale lo que pide. Estamos en la zona que nada se prohíbe. Dale duro pa' que nunca se olvide. Castígala, castígala.
Here we go, guys. It's 4 a.m. here. Like, that's the indication. It's 4 a.m. and Evan is still alive. Like,
Huh?
it's 4 a.m.
How's the
here.
trade doing?
Oh, it's good.
Trade.
That's a good trade. We can retouch. That's a good trade. That's a fire trade.
Alright, you got it, eh? Alright, you take over,
I'm going back to sleep, but that's the dedication. 4 a.m. and you 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, you know?
Who's going to do it?
I don't know, actually. Yeah, let's find someone else who's at 4 a.m. streaming right now. Find another trader or educator. I'll give you $1. I'll give you... Damn, this food's probably cold as fuck, dude. Dedication. See, persistence is key. I got McDonald's now. I don't know if any of you guys caught that trade. It's okay if you didn't. I hope you guys are learning something. Yeah. You gotta work. Yeah. Day one. All right, we're kicking day one off the right way here. Kicking day one off the right way. This is gonna set the tempo for the next 60 days. See, that's why I said it. You know, when I got on, everybody was asking me like what gold's doing. I said, guys, it's all about patience. Let me develop the rhythm. Let me get into the flow. Let me get into the tempo of things. We're literally day one here. I told you guys, day one, London session right here. See, day one. So day one is today. I got my McDonald's here. 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning. Name another educator or trader who's gonna be here 4 in the morning, showing you guys how to take trades, execute them, talk about the psychology of trading, the mindset of trading. We got people here on YouTube. We had like 5. Oh, we had a good amount of people jump on. Bum, 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 bum. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are out here. You funded's invite only. You can put my name. Yeah, it's invite only. I'll share the link in the chat in a minute. I'll share the link in the chat. But day one, guys, we're going to be doing this for the next 60 days. So you guys are going to learn a lot. I mean, this is the first trade. That break and retest really held there. Damn. I didn't even have a big risk on this trade. Like, I was not 1%. Like, 1% would have been up here. So I was telling them, like, guys, I'm not even risking 1% on this. 1% is like up here, you know? So it's like a small risk trade, but, you know, now it's up like $700. That's decent. Out here in Colombia?
Oh.
You want to Yo, the people next door are still partying. Bro, the guy, like, You go there and you can hear like mad girls in there. I don't know what they're doing. And they're partying. The neighbors are partying. We're fucking in the trenches here. Oof, we're dropping 100 pips right there, guys. 100 pips. If you got in, close your trade. 100 pips, easy. Scalp. If you want to hold it, go to break even. It's a break even trade at this point. 100 pips secured in the bag right there. Up literally 100 pips on this trade. Solid entry. Day number 1 of live trading gold XAU sessions every single day. We're going to be doing this every single day the next 60 days, guys. So, like I said, make sure you guys are tapped in. I wasn't joking. When I'm locked in, I'm locked in. When I'm on a lock, like I'm on a lock, all right? All right, guys. I'm going to close this trade, though. $700 for the night. Quick little... How long we been on for? We've been on for... How long? When did we start? We've been on for 2 hours, all right? So I'm going to collect my little 2-hour paycheck right here real quick. $700 paycheck for the night. 2 hours spent, $700 secured. I'm out. I'll see you guys New York session or the next stream. I just closed the trade. Quick little $700.